October 11th, 1962 is a date that would become one of the most significant in modern Catholic history. For nearly 93 years, the Church had not convened an Ecumenical Council. More than 2,000 bishops from every continent gathered beneath the dome of St. Peter's Basilica. As reported, it was a breathtaking spectacle. To many observers, this was Catholic unity made visible. Ancient rites, sacred vestments, centuries of traditions, a church very confident in her identity. Few suspected that beneath the beauty of the opening ceremonies lies the wolves in sheep clothing, waiting for the right moment to take over. Long before all the bishops arrived in Rome, commissions appointed by the Holy See, which consists of senior and mostly reputable theologians, had already prepared draft documents known as schemas. These texts were expected to serve as the starting point for the Council's discussions, more like a detailed form of meeting agendas we have today. And then came the long-awaited day, flagged off by John XXIII's opening speech. Gaudet Mater Ecclesia, meaning Mother Church rejoices. In this speech, John XXIII stated, "The greatest concern of the Ecumenical Council is this: that the sacred deposit of Christian doctrine should be guarded and taught more efficaciously." This statement is a solemn truth, a definite expression of what every previous church council stood for. Continuing, John XXIII said, "That is to say, all men, without exception, both individually and in society, have a lifelong obligation to strive after heavenly values through the right use of the things of this earth. These temporal goods must be used in such a way as not to jeopardize eternal happiness. Seek first the kingdom of God and His justice." Yet another beautiful introduction with the solemn truths of our faith. But further down the opening speech, he began to reveal his true motive in the following words: "The deposit of faith, that is, the truths contained in our venerable teaching, is one thing. The manner in which these truths are set forth is another." Here, John XXIII is trying to create a distinction between what a doctrine is and the way the doctrines should be presented to the world. At this point, we detect the first destructive lie sandwiched by the previous solemn truths as discussed earlier. According to one of the principles of logic, that something cannot be and not be in the same manner and in the same respect. For example, water cannot be hot and cold in the same manner and in the same respect. Therefore, the truths of the doctrines of the deposit of faith cannot have an acceptable manner that it can be preached if it contradicts the original truth it actually represents. Let us continue. Further down, John the 23rd stated, "The teaching of the church should be studied and expounded through the methods of research and through the literary forms of modern thought. The substance of the ancient doctrine of the deposit of faith is one thing, and the way in which it is presented is another. This council wishes to transmit the doctrine, pure and integral, without any attenuation or distortion." Let us ponder on this. How can the doctrines of the church be expounded through modern thoughts, while at the same time wishing that the doctrine remain pure and integral, without attenuation and distortion? If you don't understand this question, permit me to illustrate it with an example. How can the teaching of Christ on marriage, one man, one wife, be expounded through the modern thoughts of permissible blessings on same-sex marriages and still remain a pure and integral doctrine of Christ without attenuation and distortion? Is it possible for such a contradiction to exist on a sane mind? John the 23rd, continuing in his world of contradictions, stated, "This certain and immutable doctrine, to which faithful obedience is due, has to be explored and presented in a way that responds to the needs of our time. If the supposed needs of our time is on same-sex marriages, how can the certain and immutable doctrines of the Catholic Church, to which we are all bound to by faithful obedience, allow permissible blessings on same-sex unions and still be immutable? It should be a marvel to behold a mind on which contradictions can peacefully coexist." John the 23rd, in the opening speech of Vatican II, continued, "The Catholic Church considers it her duty to work actively so that the great mystery of that unity which Jesus Christ prayed for may be realized." And just before concluding the speech, he also mentioned, "The Church must never depart from the sacred patrimony of truth received from the fathers." If you paid close attention, you will observe the pattern this opening speech deployed. An ancient trick of Satan, which I will call the sandwiched lie, which is a couple of destructive lies sandwiched at its top and bottom with very beautiful truths of faith. This would eventually be the pattern the key documents of Vatican II would also be deployed with. 99 truths with one destructive lie sandwiched in the middle. After the speech, the council began in all earnestness. All was going as initially planned by the committee that prepared the schemas, until the enemies launched their first attack. They argued that the schemas didn't cover what needs to be discussed, and also pushed the agenda to give the council more time so that all the bishops assembled will get to know each other. John XXIII granted this permission, an act that gave this evil fraternity the opportunity to organize and re-strategize themselves in a formation that would become impossible to defeat. After the short break, all the schemas the great theologians of the Catholic Church at that time had taken great pains to put together was tossed aside and completely rewritten. The council found itself blindly drifting away, no longer following the course many had anticipated. Those who were originally entrusted to prepare the council found themselves as spectators instead. On the outside, the world saw solemn ceremonies and inspiring speeches, whereas on the inside, the council had already become a battleground between the deposit of faith versus modern ideologies, something far more dynamic than anyone had previously expected. Banished ideas that were once scrutinized and rejected by previous popes were now receiving dangerous popular attention. Rather than follow the original precepts laid on the foundations of the deposit of faith, the council was now actively shaping new rebellious ones. Whether you call it coup d'etat or a bloodless revolution, the consequences of that paradigm shift would echo throughout the years and decades that followed.